Hey, Danny Stefanetti, how are you? Great to have you back
Hi,
on the
Danny.
show. One
It's
of my
good to be
favorite
back.
guests.
Thank you. It's great to be back on your show. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. And of course, you are an award winning singer and songwriter. Always great to have you with us. You're always so busy. I know you have a brand new single coming out. I know it's released tomorrow, right? And it's your birthday.
Right.
Happy birthday, by the way.
It
Tell us
is.
about this brand new single.
Yeah, the new single is called Rock and Roll in My Soul. Have you seen the new music video for it?
I did. You look fantastic, and I
Thank
absolutely
you.
love it.
Yeah, I was rocking out on the stage out there in New Kuiper, and on the big stage, I was opening for Mark Farner from Grand Funk Railroad, and we captured the whole concert on video, and that was what this is one of them that we released, Rock and Roll in My Soul, and it's off Danny's Diamond, my new record. So
Yeah. I mean,
it's a
you
real
always,
rocker.
as long as I've known you, you have rock and roll in your soul. You love rock and roll, and of course, you cross so many genres of music. Of course, country, right, Americana,
Uh-huh.
and of course, rock and roll, which you love so much. Tell us about putting that particular song together.
Yeah. What makes this song different to my other works? I've been through my country era, my folky balladeer era,
Hmm.
and I've always combined like a little bit of jazz and soul into that country Americana rock blues sound that I have.
Right.
But what makes this one production wise, because I co-produced it, engineered, mixed, learned how to like build a track from scratch after the pandemic and set up my home studio. And this was one of the last songs we did for the record of Danny's Diamonds, and it was my manager's idea because he has worked with Stevie Wonder and a lot of Motown artists to
Right.
put some brass and horns down. And we like had our moments with this one because the horns were driving me crazy, like trying to work out how to use plugins and use the keyboard on the laptop to figure it out. And after many, many tutorials and a lot of days of headaches, I finally worked out how to put the layers, the thirds, and the fifths above for the horn section because
Right.
it was a bit out of my depth. Because I play by ear, I'm not a theory girl. So
Right. Right.
brass was, whoa,
Uh-huh.
if you can do brass, it's like we could get through anything now.
Of
But
course.
the brass and the cowbell. This is the first song I've ever put cowbell in.
Really? Wow. That's pretty
Yes,
awesome.
yeah, it's like the Saturday Night Live skit. I
Right.
got rock and roll in my 1, 2, 3, 4.
And you got those great guitar riffs. I mean, you are such a great guitarist, one of the best in
Thank
the
you.
business.
Oh, I appreciate that. That's a huge compliment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, tell me about your guitar playing. I know you've been playing since you were what, like 8 years old, right? Who are some of your guitar influences growing up?
Yeah, I grew up with a lot of Peter Frampton, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix, Bonnie Raitt.
Hmm.
I listened to a lot of Led Zeppelin, Jimmy Page growing up. And then I got into Hell Freezes Over and the Eagles and studied them a whole heap too, and country guitarists. But that rock blues crossover really hit me of Stevie Ray Vaughan. So I think that was probably my biggest guitar influence was Stevie.
Pretty cool. And also, your grandparents, I know, were a big influence on you. And there was a lot of Elvis in the house. And also, your
There
granddad was
was.
also into country, right? Tell us, what were some of your favorite Elvis songs growing up?
Love Me Tender, I Can't Help But Falling in Love with You. Or Can't Help
Uh-huh.
But Falling in Love.
Uh-huh.
I love a whole bunch of Elvis's. We already talked about this in one of the interviews, but I loved going to his honeymoon home when it used to be open.
Right, right,
Um, I loved Elvis's styling as well. Like he just was like into like all these vintage colors and the way he put prints and colors together.
right.
He really was one of a kind. And he had a
Absolutely.
beautiful aura about him as well. I actually recently got to watch the Elvis movie on the plane. Now, I didn't bring my headset with me, so I literally watched the Elvis Presley movie without sound.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
So you just watch his
And
moves.
and it's like you need the music, but I still was captivated by the imagery of that movie
Mhm.
for even without the sound. So that says something in itself. Um, yeah, I definitely loved the rock and roll that Elvis crossed many boundaries of just the way he moved and everything.
Yeah, I mean, so many different types of music from gospel to rock and roll, and
Yeah,
you pretty much do the same type of thing, right? I mean, you're country, rock and roll, Americana. I mean, you cross so many genres as well.
I hope so, but I can't move like Elvis.
You,
But
but
yeah,
you
I
could,
love crossing genres and not getting kicked out of towns. But I mean, I have played at country festivals where I was like too rock or too pop or stuff before, well.
right. Now, the release of Rock and Roll in My Soul coming out tomorrow, right? Tell us how to download it and where we could get it.
Yeah, you guys can download it on the 6th of November, I think at midnight on the day of. And it will be on iTunes, Spotify. The music video is already out. It's been premiered on YouTube yesterday, I believe. And
Mhm.
so check that out. Share it with your friends. It's definitely one of those songs that I love doing live because it's like that last song of the set.
Right. And it's, of course, it's off that great album, Danny's
Thank you.
Diamonds, right? There's so many
Thank
great
you very
songs on that
much.
album. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the new album. Exactly. People can hear a sneak peek of that whole record and little parts of the song actually
Mhm.
on my website. So if they go like to the homepage of DanniStefanetti.com, they can start hearing that before anyone else as well.
I also want to ask you about William Lee Golden.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know you just did a great song with him. I Got My Heart on You. Tell us about that. It was the first song he ever wrote. You co-wrote it with him. That must have been absolutely fantastic.
Oh wow, what a blessing, what a project. And I've met William a couple of times over the years out there in Nashville on the
Hmm.
Golden Era estate that he lives on with his wife and family. And he was sitting on that song for many years until both of our managers, like he was trying to get that out of him and put us two together. And it
Hmm.
just happened organically. And I got back from Nashville late September after a week of press with him. Like I recently was over there
Right.
doing the Opry. We came on your show. I know we did an interview together,
Yeah,
both of
absolutely.
us. And we had like Talk of the Town local onto a whole bunch of interviews we did together.
Yeah, I mean, William Lee Golden is absolutely fantastic. And I know you also were in the video Elvira, which is their only video that they did. And you got to play guitar in that video, right? Tell us about that. That must have been really cool.
Oh, I play guitar in the duet, but the Elvira, yeah, I got to be on the set. Like they put me in there to sing.
I saw you on the
But
set there. Yeah.
yeah, it was a really fun day. So there was like, I got to go on the tour bus with the guys, with the Oak Ridge Boys, and that
Wow.
was one of the last times I saw Joe. One of the last things he said to me was, "Danny, I love your new single," and that was "You Got Me Thinking of You." Yeah,
Oh, wow.
chatting with Dwayne on the bus and William and all, and Richard, and we walked off, and then you walk in and there's a makeup person and the fruit salad back, like how they have all those bars in Nashville and down on Broadway,
Right.
and a lot of the stars own those bars, and then you go upstairs to the second level, and there was like it was a music video set of hair
Right.
and makeup, and all these cast characters were coming in, Big and Rich, Kid Rock, and one after the other,
Oh, wow.
and it was like cameras, lights, action. And they were like, you, and you. We're putting there were four of us, young up and comers, and
Right.
they put us on stage just sing for the Oak Ridge Boys to their track. Obviously, we're singing over their track, so it was a good fun.
So awesome. Yeah, I mean, those guys are absolutely fabulous. And I know he's still touring with the Oak Ridge Boys, and also he has his own band, right? William Lee Golden and the Goldens, right?
Yeah, and they actually just won Gospel Group of the Year out there in the Josie Awards. So congrats to William and the Goldens
Yeah,
on
and you have
winning
your
the
own big
Goldens.
award. Tell us about your award at the Josie Awards.
Yeah, the Grand Ole Opry. I just recently won this year's multi-genre female vocalist of the year, which is very
Amazing.
exciting. Yeah,
Yeah,
very honored to get that one.
so cool. So much rock and roll. And of course, you live there in beautiful Palm Springs, which I love so much. We talked about that on our last interview, right? A great
Yeah.
place to play. Then you play all over California, though, right? I mean, you do a lot of shows all over the California area.
Yes. I played all the way from LA to Big Bear to out here in the desert. And I have a lot of desert shows lined up all season through the winter, through fall. So it's going to be a very busy lineup. But I haven't made it out there to the East Coast or Texas yet because I've been so busy in California with the shows. But I'm still writing lots of songs and releasing new music, so I'm hoping people get to hear this new one. And it's definitely a few beats faster than the one I did with William. So it's like a ballad, and now we've released it up tempo. So
Oh, so awesome! Rock and roll in my soul. Looking so forward to that tomorrow. We can get it right. Download it tomorrow night. You said
yeah,
about midnight. Awesome! And it's your birthday. What are you doing for your birthday?
I don't know yet. I haven't looked that far in advance. I guess it will be like I'll be on the computer, like making sure all this release is set up. You know how it is. I
Uh,
put the release day on the same day as my birthday, so I'll probably get Uber Eats in to like get me some food and then go see some friends or something like that.
right. You doing any intentions to do any international tours? Go back to Perth maybe, or Australia where you grew up. Do some shows there and all.
um, I haven't got any plans to go back to Australia at this stage, but I really, really hope I can get back as soon as possible as well. So I haven't been back in too long.
Long
So
time.
definitely something I got to do. But America's keeping me very busy that I haven't even been able to have a gap really. So
Uh, yeah, I
mhm.
mean, you work with so many great people. Of course, the Oak Ridge Boys, William Lee Golden. Anybody that you would like to work with in the future that you haven't worked with yet?
Oh, that's a tough question. There's oh, I haven't really thought about that. Any members of the Eagles are definitely on my list.
Uh, and
I
I know
mean,
you got to meet
imagine what.
Keith Urban early on, right? You met Keith Urban early on, right?
Yes, yes, a couple of years ago in the rain, and I'm wondering. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of great up and comers I would love to work with, but at this stage, just put me on the spot. There's so much good
That's
music.
all right.
Um, a lot of my favorites have gone to the band in the sky, like Jimi Hendrix and that. But um, I don't know. I just like working with like all different types of styles of people. So yeah.
hmm And also, you work with two guitar companies still, right? Tell us about that. I mean, I know you're associated with some guitar companies, right?
Yeah, so cable-free guitars, I use their plugins instead of
hmm
using the long cables, and I use them for my electric guitars, and they are so I can go wireless throughout the stage with no, frequency, no cables going, and that plugs into my pedal board and one into my guitar, and then
Right.
I also have I play a PRS guitar and I play my acoustic Gibson.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. Do you prefer to play an acoustic or electric? Do you one that you prefer, or?
It depends on the acoustic of the room and what amp I'm going through. Like
hmm
some nights, like I like to start with the acoustic, especially if I'm outdoor with my AER amp. I like to like go acoustic, and it sounds really lush and full. And then if I've got my Epiphone valve amp with me, then I love having like the electric sound because it's like really big and full. But just really depends on what amp I've brought with me, that what guitar I lean to. But sometimes I just play both guitars in the same night.
Right. I know. And your last two singles did very well for you, right? They were played internationally and nationally on radio stations, right? Tell us about that. That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
You got me thinking of you did really well out there.
hmm
It charted number 4 in Australia on 6PR in Perth, and then was like number 1 on It Is Now radio in the UK for 8 weeks straight. And we had a lot of shows play it throughout America, Netherlands, Europe. Yeah, it got that single did really, really well. That You Got Me Thinking of You. So that was
So,
incredible.
so great. And you have your own little record company, right? Out of your own little it's almost like a garage band, right? You have it out of your house, right? It's Danny Records. Tell us about Danny Records.
Yeah,
Tell us
well,
about
this
that.
is actually part of my studio, but yeah, I do it. I have like a home studio where I have my MIDI keyboard. I engineer tracks here. Produce the music, produce videos here, and yeah, it's all out of my room.
Yeah, and you're so involved in everything. As you said, you engineer, you produce, right? I mean, you're part of the mixing and the singing and the playing.
Yeah,
That's amazing. I mean, that you
thank
know
you.
all that and you're able to handle all that, which is awesome.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I've had uh, I used to think probably about 2.5 years ago that I needed to be signed to a record label and have a marketing budget and do it that way.
hmm
Um, when I met my manager, Jeffrey Panzer, he said, no, you can do videos yourself. You can learn how to produce yourself. And he gave me that confidence to learn it. And I studied it. I watched hundreds of hours of tutorials and I learned it. And he taught me, like, with the iPhone on all the technology now, like there's so much you can do with different angles and to set it up on a stand. And it's incredible. So sometimes you just have to get things done and you don't have a huge budget. You just got to do it.
Absolutely. I mean, the technology keeps changing and you keep, and you keep up with it, which is so awesome. And we hope to get you back out here on the East Coast in New York and New Jersey, have you play out here. This would be so awesome.
It would. When I was freshly about 19 and I came out there with my parents and, I lined up at Sidewalk Cafe a few years ago and tried to sing out there. And that was like one of the first venues I sang at in New York. Is the Sidewalk Cafe still around?
You know what? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's still there, but it's so awesome that you were there, which is great.
Yeah. So, I really enjoy New York City and I haven't been there in way too long. And I love the culture out there. It's especially during Christmas time. Maybe I've watched too many movies, but
nothing like Christmas in New York. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Any plans for the upcoming holidays? I know Thanksgiving's coming up, and of course Christmas next month. Any plans to do special concerts or tours, anything like that?
Yes, I've got shows booked out through California. I've actually got 2 shows on Thanksgiving, so I'll be singing to other people. So that will be a nice day, that's for sure.
Right, and you got so many followers. Yeah, I guess I'm going to be doing lots of shows. We got a lot of shows coming up here in November and December, which is pretty cool. So, lots of celebrities coming on. So I'm looking forward to that. But of course, you are one of my favorite guests, as always.
Oh, thank you,
Stefanetti. Absolutely. And I always, that pieces, I come across it online all the time that you did for WABC Channel 7 with Sandy Kenyon. Man, I love that piece. That's so great. And of course, I caught that on the news here in New York, which was so awesome.
Oh, you caught it. Oh, I love that. Yeah, that was it captured a moment in time that was very special.
Yeah, Sandy Kenyon did such a great job with that. So that's so awesome. And I know you did so much touring with William Lee Golden. So much press. I mean, I've seen you on so many different radio stations throughout Nashville and Tennessee, and you guys did a lot of press together. Boy, you did a lot of traveling with William.
Yeah, we did a lot. He actually drove, and
did he really?
He drove me to the interviews with him. Yeah.
Are you serious? He's such a great guy. He really is.
Yeah,
he's so awesome.
He is. He's so chill.
And that song was pretty much written about, his son used to call him, right? And pretty much gave him the idea of the lyrics for that song that you guys did together, right?
He used to leave voice messages on his phone saying, "Dad, I got my heart on you."
Oh, wow. And that's
how he got the title.
Right. Now, that was the first time he ever wrote any type of song, and you got to co-write it with him, which is pretty awesome. Yeah.
So, he trusted me with changing it around and doing what I liked with it, making it into how I would interpret a country pop song. I made it a little bit more upbeat and I changed the arrangement and did what I needed to it. And it was nice of him to trust me with it because we weren't sure, he wasn't, I don't know if he would have released it if Jeffrey didn't give him that push to, come on, get it out. We can do this, and finally did. And I think he was very happy with it once it all came together.
Absolutely.
And Solomon apparently really loved it as well, his son.
Yeah. Oh, really? Did he? Oh, that's so great. Yeah. Wow. Did you get to hang out at his ranch over there in Nashville? He's got some beautiful ranch, I know, right there in Nashville. Did you get to go there at all?
Yeah, I got to stay at their property. They had a guest room for me. And I call it the golden era. Yeah. And there's a lot of wildlife around there. And it was just before fall, so the leaves hadn't really changed color yet. But it was a very, early morning, hearing the birds chirp, and I saw a lot of squirrels and things like that.
He's got a lot of ground, I hear. My cousin lives next door to him. My cousin's his neighbor, which is pretty funny.
Really?
Sees him all the time. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I wonder how you worked that out.
Yeah, right.
Was it the beard that gave it away?
Yeah, and my cousin is also a guitarist for Dylan
Oh,
Scotty there in Nashville. So he's doing really well as a country guitarist, which is pretty awesome.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah. But also, I wanted to ask you about Danny Speaking. Tell us about Danny Speaking. I know you have so many followers
Oh
on that.
yeah, this is the Danny speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I got the phone here. Yeah, so Danny speaking, and yeah, it used to be quite comical because I'd have Danny moments on there. I do a little bit of music, a little bit of talking. I had like these cards,
Mm-hmm.
and one time I even did a Seinfeld Elaine dance on there, which was a bit embarrassing. But anyway,
Wow.
we're making it up as we go,
Of course, of
And I
course.
used to do that on Facebook when I had more free time, but then my tour schedule just got out of control and I haven't been able to bring the show back, but I still use it for all my podcasts and interviews and things like that. But all the replays are on Facebook and YouTube for that show as well.
Yeah, tell us about all your social networks. I know you're on Facebook, Instagram, right? Tell us about all those networks where your fans can follow you.
Yeah, so all my news and videos and music is if they go to my website, so DanniStefanetti.com has everything on it. And then also I'm on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all of that as well.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so many great merchandise also on DanniStefanetti.com, right? You can get all your music on there, plus some great pictures of yourself, right? And you have some koala bears, right? I know you love the koalas. Right? In fact, I have one here right here that you actually gave me a long time ago.
Oh, you have one. I love it.
My little
Koala Mania.
studio mascot here.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's Koala Mania.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you love the koala bears, which is pretty awesome. So, but anyway, so great. I know you have another interview coming up in a few minutes. So I want to thank you so much for joining me. And again, let's talk about Rock and Roll in My Soul coming out tomorrow. Tell us how to get it and how to download it and what time it's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, on the 6th of November, my new single, Rock and Roll in My Soul, comes out on all digital platforms. And make sure you share it with your friends. Enjoy the music video. Let us know if you'd love it. Leave a comment. And I have plenty more music coming, guys. Thank you for supporting my music. It means everything to me.
Absolutely.
And thank you for your show.
Oh, you're always welcome here. And we wish you all the best. And I know you have a lot more music on the way. So we're looking forward to that as well. Good luck with the album, Danny's Diamonds, which is absolutely fabulous. So many great songs on there, by the way. And
thank you, Jimmy.
At least in this single, Rock and Roll in My Soul, which you have in your soul always. Well, thanks so much, Danny. I appreciate you joining me tonight.
Thanks, Jimmy. You have a great night.
You too. We'll talk again soon. Take care.
Sounds good. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, I want to thank Danni Stefanetti for joining me on the show. She is absolutely fabulous. Check out her brand new song, Rock and Roll in My Soul, coming out tomorrow. You can download it or go to DanniStefanetti.com for all the details, more information, which is so awesome. I want to thank everybody for listening tonight to Celebrity Spotlight. And so much going on within the next couple of months. Of course, we got Thanksgiving coming up, we got Christmas coming up, and we have some more great guests on the way. Also, next week we have, let's see, Michael Russo is going to be here. He is a solo artist. Also, he's with a group called The Reflections, and he had a hit back in 1964, big hit called Just Like Romeo and Juliet. They did it on American Bandstand with Dick Clark. It's a great song, and now he's handling the group, The Reflection. So we're going to talk to Michael Russo all about that. I'm going to have a special co-host next week, too. My good friend Tom Payton is going to be here. He's going to help me out with that show because he is such a big oldies fan and oldies expert. So he's going to help us out and join us for that show. He's going to co-host Celebrity Spotlight with me next week. So you get to meet Tom Payton. So make sure you tune in for that. So that's going to be lots and lots of fun. Also, in 2 weeks, we have actress Alyssa Rollo Bennett's going to be here. She is a actress, a director, a composer, producer. She's got a lot going on. She has some new music that she wants to talk about. And she also has a new film called The Arrival, which is coming out very, very soon. So we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about The Arrival and what that's all about and how to download it and see it, and where you can catch it in a local theater. Also, I want to acknowledge the loss of a great artist that was on Celebrity Spotlight, a friend of mine, Jack Jones. Of course, he was a member of the Celebrity Spotlight alumni. Great talent, so many great songs. Of course, Lollipops and Roses, so many great songs over the years. So we want to acknowledge his loss. He's going to be very missed. A great artist. And of course, today, Quincy Jones as well, who worked with We Are the World, and of course, Frank Sinatra and also Michael Jackson. And he contributed to so much music. So we're going to miss Quincy Jones as well, another great icon in the music business as well. Last week, I had the pleasure of attending the Chilla show here in New Jersey. I got to hang out with Carmine Peace, who is also from Vanilla Fudge. He was also a member of the Celebrity Spotlight alumni, so it was fun hanging out with him. So many great celebrities were there as well that I got to see. Peggy Lee Brennan, who was one of the nurses on MASH. She was had a little romance thing going on with Radar on the show. So it was great to meet her. And also Vicki Lawrence was there and Kate Jackson. So it was such a fun event to be a part of. So that was the Chilla show here in New Jersey last week. I got to see a lot of people there, and it was great to see everyone out there having a great time. Also, more great celebrities on the way here on Celebrity Spotlight. And a couple of weeks ago, I also got to hang out with my good friends, DJ MDW and Nismo at Westbury in the Westbury Music Fair for Power 78.7 radio, and the great guys. So it was great meeting them and all the fans of that radio station. And it was great to be a little bit of a part of that radio station. Which was awesome. It's Power 78.7. My good friend MDW, who's the big program director and disc jockey there, and Nismo and all the people there from Power 78.7 doing a fantastic job. It was such a fun time hanging out with all those people. So anyway, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank Cindy, the producer. I know she's out there. I know so many people listening. Beryl's out there, I know, in Virginia. So many people watching the show tonight. Tom Payton is out there. He'll also join me on the show next week. You'll get to meet Tom. He'll co-host the Celebrity Spotlight with me, with Michael Russo and The Reflections, which is going to be a great show. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. We will catch you next Monday with Michael Russo, The Reflections, Tom Payton, and I hope you too. So we'll catch you next Monday night, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time here on Celebrity Spotlight. Have a great week, everybody, and a great weekend, and we will talk again next Monday. Bye-bye.